Hello, Ivy here. Today's podcast is about the British media and their reporting still on Harry and Meghan, who are non-taxpayer funded royals. So here we go. One of the main themes throughout this podcast will be the phrase, follow the money. The meaning of follow the money is the investigation of a series of financial transactions. If you want to find out who is behind, then just follow the money trail. The phrase derives from the docudrama film All the President's Men, which suggests political corruption can be brought to light by money transfers between various parties, and looking a little bit closer at those particular groups or individuals. I'd like to point out here, I'm not suggesting corruption, but money transfers between particular groups of people is worthy of note. The English interpretation of follow the money, contained in the Collins Dictionary, gives a number of examples, and I've got a few here that I think are applicable. Certainly 2 of them come straight to the top, and I'll point those out as I go through them. So, in terms of follow the money trail, it's to go or to come after, to keep to the course or track of, to watch closely or continuously. I would say that's definitely a Royal Reporter 1. And a second Royal Reporter 1, to have keen interest in, to earn a living at. This implies that Royal reporters, tabloids and experts in inverted commas earn less by covering the tax-funded royals, who they work for and with. I found an article written by Robert Evans Wilson Jr. on looking for motives, follow the money trail. This was contained in Psychology Today UK, some years ago now, but I think it's still applicable. It was published on the 20th of January 2010. The author spoke about a murder mystery weekend as an analogy. Each suspect had one or more of the following: means, opportunity, or motive. The first 2 are important, but the last one was the key to solving the puzzle, i.e. motive. The result of the murder mystery turned out to be the one with the emotional motive of anger and revenge. Again, I underline those 2 words, anger and revenge, because I believe that is at the heart of Royal Reporter activity. Now, money is a reliable method for motivating people. If you ever want to discover the motivation behind any action that appears to be random, backtracking the money trail is frequently a good way to find it. So, with regards to Harry and Meghan and the British royal family, in terms of my interpretation, if there has been a reduction in the coverage of the British royal family, it probably suggests that there is insufficient interest from consumers for the tabloids to spend time and resources researching or compiling stories or articles about the British royal family in vast quantities. The market is not there. If the reduction in sales is in specific outlets rather than outlets as a whole, it indicates interest is reducing, and certain outlets have either stopped selling particular tabloids or are ordering reduced quantities now. If the lack of readers is widespread, then the manufacturer will discontinue that line of reporting, or reduce it accordingly. Basically, Harry and Meghan mean money for the British media, albeit vastly reduced compared to 2016 to March 2020, but still more than the British royal family can generate on their own. Remember I mentioned earlier the emotional motivation of anger and resentment. This is the root cause for the behaviour of royal reporters pursuant of Harry and Meghan, until legal actions prevent them from following their activities in the current style, i.e., inciting hate crime and hateful activity on a variety of social media platforms, as well as their comment sections in their respective papers. It will continue. I do believe that the time is coming when free speech will not mean freedom from responsibility, and that people and organisations will be held to account for the organisation will be held to account for the activities of their employees, particularly when we are saying that they could become unlawful activity. Behaviour, approach, and attributes of royal reporters and the British media is obsessive. If you look at the meaning of the word obsessive, it refers to compulsive preoccupation with a fixed idea or unwanted feeling or emotional, and often accompanied by symptoms of anxiety. The act of an evil spirit in possessing or ruling a person. Such a persistent idea, desire, emotion, etc., especially one that cannot be forgotten or got rid of by reasoning. A compulsive or irrational preoccupation with something. An unhealthy fixation. So my conclusions, looking at follow the money and obsessive behaviour and involvement of various people along that chain who benefit financially from going and down a particular route and using a certain type of approach, is as follows. The fact that the people that they are meant to be writing about, i.e. royal reporters, British media in general, the taxpayer element of it is irrelevant. It was just a useful hook to hang the excuse for their intrusion and the unlawful, shady behaviour. In other words, the fact that Harry and Meghan are no longer funded by taxpayers, in the royal reporter's eyes, makes no difference. They're using all the other reasons in terms of income generation as an excuse. It was just an excuse before, for years, a handy one that they could always quote, we pay for you, you are public servants, we own you, basically. Now, that isn't the case with Harry and Meghan, but they're still pursuing them. So, really, ignore the taxpayer-funded element of it. It was never really a reason. That was just an excuse. The few articles written about the British royal family are mere tokenism. The royal reporters live in hope of an exclusive story via the royal family about Harry and Meghan, but the sources now are zero. If they can look forward to the odd visit to the UK by Harry and Meghan, UK media can hope for photos that they can obtain as long as other members of the British royal family are in the photos. Otherwise, they will be placed in faraway positions to take high-income generating photos, which basically won't work. British media have decided any article with Harry and Meghan in the title generates interest and clicks. Some papers still retaining a specific tab on their front pages for Harry and Meghan, particularly Meghan. I foresee the royal reporters being employed like paparazzi, paid per article or photo, and that there will be less of them. Royal reporting in the UK will be very much smaller than it is now. The interest in the British royal family is just not there in high enough numbers to warrant the size of industry that has existed for decades. The British royal family is losing the argument on demographics of the supporters. It is a fact. It's a dying institution. It is failing. They refuse to change or adapt to match societal changes. Just like the famous Swiss watches industry, who thought that they would be popular forever. And then, to their surprise, digital watches came along and shook their world. The firm will go the same way. Social media will change over the next few decades. There will be tighter restrictions on content. Raw reporting is already dying, and obsessive behaviour spawned from anger and revenge and resentment for the loss of their way of life will be curtailed by regulation, by new regulators in the industry, I believe. Raw reporting as a profession is overdue for an overhaul. There is absolutely no need for the number of raw reporters in existence now. As I said, I think they will become paid per article if it is deemed interesting enough to sell papers without falling foul of new regulations. I believe they will operate like independent paparazzi. As the British royal family's popularity and reason for existence declines, the need for royal reporters will mirror that decline. Harry and Meghan are on a global scale now, operating in high-quality business circles. They are multimillionaires already and have no need or moral duty to associate themselves with low-scale, low-quality media coverage in the UK. British media created the turmoil at the request of the British royal family, and both have lost the argument. Both institutions were destined to become obsolete anyway, as their working model was outdated. Their jealousy of Harry and Meghan and the insistence of continuous approach of pursuing slaves in an opulent setting methodology ensured that the demise is happening quicker. It is not the fault of Harry and Meghan, but the British monarchy is in decline. It is the British royal family's refusal to change with the times and the hunt the slave mentality, re Harry and Meghan, which opened a window for the world to see the less than glowing activities of the British royal family and its media. There is no one else to blame but the British royal family and British media. Harry and Meghan will not be their meal ticket for much longer. Much of their future activities and projects will be delivered by partners. There will be no need for Harry and Meghan to be front and centre of media coverage. British royal family and the British media played themselves and lost. That's all from me today. Bye for now.